LPT, never lend money if you wouldn't be comfortable considering it a gift. There's always a very real chance you won't get it back, and you need to be okay with losing that sum.
Forwarding to my bank.
So never lend anyone money ever. Got it.
You read the post about that dude lending his friend $25K too?
Nice try, you stole this from the mob.
If I lend someone $20 and never see them again, it was probably worth it.
I loaned my sister $3,000 when she bought her house. I said just put it into a side account, until you guys are comfortable in the new situation, and then pay me back when you have your reserves built. Back 2 weeks they had about $2K of emergency repairs of a flagged heater. Year later they had a whole house worth of new furniture and I never saw the money. Years after buying the house they asked to borrow a large sum of money as their business was in trouble. They were not asking me to become a partner. I said declared bankruptcy, restructured their business, and now they are doing fine. If I would have lent them that larger sum of money, they would have still declared bankruptcy, but I would have been out that larger sum of money.
Nah bro, lend money, but be willing to break caps. Maybe get collateral up front.
Link?
I never lend money to anyone since the last time in my teenage years I did. It's just a recipe for time. I had to jump through hoops to get it back, and even then I got my money back way later than the deadline, and it took a lot of unnecessary effort from no longer have the energy to deal with that behavior, so I simply never lend out money anymore.
I agree with this to a point. If someone from whom I do want to be repaid wants to borrow money, I ask to borrow something of similar value from them. If they pay me back, great. If they don't, I get to continue to enjoy the nice thing which I got as collateral. Person shrugging, medium light skin tone, female sign.
Yeah. This is if the recipient is a close friend in bad financial trouble and you can afford it, consider just giving them the money they need as a gift. It may prevent the resentment of struggling to pay you back and instead be deeply appreciated for easing their burden rather than postponing. Is wrong with a loan to a friend, but I've been surprised by how many good trusted friends lack integrity when it comes to paying back loans. It's good to know their real character, but unless they're family grade friends, I'd rather just give them a cash gift if I can manage it.
Really, it comes down to knowing at a certain point the best way to help is to do nothing.
Nah, he has rupees, not money.
I loaned someone $200 knowing that they'd never pay me back and that they'd avoid me so they wouldn't have to pay me back. Best way to get rid of someone I was sick of dealing with.
I'm just gonna take your kneecaps as collateral and you can have them back when you pay up.
Be prepared that when you lend someone money, your relationship with that person will change forever, regardless if you're paid back or not. Money changes things, and usually not for the better.
That's why when I see someone choking I just mind my own business.
Wasn't it?
One of my friend who I loved like a brother, I would send him in a cab when he was too and paid for it. When he needed money I would lend him money. He stopped talking to me when I asked for $300 back. It hurt me, but it is what it is.
That's just an investment. This is good. Taken loans from the bank of mom and dad, but paid them back. Even if it took a few. Think my parents always viewed it as a gift rather than a loan. But paying the first back meant when my sewer collapsed on me, I didn't have to take out an interest loan with a bank, and they were super helpful.
If someone asks to borrow money and I don't want to lend it to them, how do I politely, diplomatically refuse it?
Sorry Link, I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
Can I get in on this deal? I'll take $200 and leave you alone.
Reminds of this parable. A woman had a friend over and the friend notices the woman's daughter that doesn't have arms struggling to put a shirt on. After a while of the daughter struggling, the friend asks the mother, "Aren't you going to help her?" The mother gets a very serious look on her face as she stares her friend in the eye and replies, "I am helping." I think it's an important message, especially for helicopter parents.
You have to have money to lend in the first place.
Sorry friend, I don't do loans.
Shown in A Bronx Tale.
Sometimes you know that the money you can offer will not change the circumstances, and they need to use other sisters in a situation where she simply does not make enough monthly to pay her bills. If it was something like owing $3K on a car that I could just pay off for her, I'd consider doing that. But as it is, I can't just take on her cost of living, so I offer support emotionally.
Helicopter parents are parents who watch over everything you do, hovering over your shoulder, looking at search history, just generally watching every little thing you do. Typically they are immigrant parents or Asian parents. Mine are in both categories technically.
Helicopter parents are parents that feel like they have to hold their kids' hands for every little obstacle. It doesn't necessarily do the kid any favors in the long run.
Yeah, this LPT is true. Story time. 20 years ago, I loaned $1,000 to my best friend so he could pay his divorce lawyer to try to retain some custody of his little boy. Friend said he'd pay me back in a month. Happened, jobs came and went, he got remarried, he raised 2 stepdaughters, more years later. Friend still never quite got on top of his debts and hasn't returned a single dollar to me. I've long since written off the loan and distanced the friendship. I miss the friendship way more than the money. But dude, I just can't be friends with you if you so clearly lack time. A grad school friend borrowed a heavy-duty stapler from me for a weekend project. We graduated, she got a great job, everything was going well. But for 7 years she did not bother to return that stapler to me, and every time I saw her in a social setting I was annoyed that this missing stapler was living rent-free in my head. I finally made an appointment around her busy calendar, rescheduled twice, went to her house, met her boyfriend, and picked up the stapler. But at least I'm no longer annoyed whenever I see her in social settings. More story time.
Tutored a helicopter tiger mom's kid and it was clear why the kid struggled. Anything the kid tried to do, the mother would step in immediately to make sure it was done right before he could even try. If his mother was in the washroom, he just shuts down when it came to schoolwork.
Take it the small step further, and tell the person it is a gift. And keep the slate clean. From the years ago I started automatically taking a portion of my paycheck and moving it to a separate, charity, account. When someone needs help, I check the balance, and if I can, I cover it. No strings attached, no payback asked for. On the rare occasions when someone insists on paying back, I just put it back in this account to give to someone else. Of course the account works great to give to actual charitable organizations too. A side benefit that is pretty big: my attitude about giving change. I've already decided this is not my money, and it's just looking for someone who needs it. So I'm always grateful when the opportunity to give presents itself, and happy that I can help, not begrudging or resentful at all. You can do this kind of thing no matter your income bracket, whether you can spare $5 or $500 a month. It's nice having a specific budget item and account for this, and makes it really easy to just help when needed and not stress about it at all. I'm sharing this to encourage those of you who can to consider trying this out. The world works better when we help each other, and a little preparation can help you be ready to help when there is a need.
You'll have to sign an online restraining order that states you must be at least 2 websites away from op at all times.
Yes sir, I had a pain in the cousin, always asking for. Once he asked to borrow $100. I said fine, but if you don't pay me back it will be the last time I lend you $100 I ever spent. Tears of joy.
Honestly, at some point counting the pennies doesn't matter. I had a roommate in college and he wanted to split it down to the penny. When there are hundreds of dollars being transacted a month, just call a few buy someone around at the bar and they'll get you. Comes a point where the gap becomes big though.
So you never got the $3K back?
This right here. If you lend money many times in your life you will have a lot of bad experiences to show for. Either give it for free, if you want, or don't at all.
It leads to adults that shut down at the first sign of adversity, because that's the point where mommy is supposed to step in and make everything okay.
My general rule is I can either afford to pay something for someone or I don't give any money at all. Usually, I'm likely to do it if it's a one-time cost, as I know it's hard to have emergency savings. There's just too many things that can go that I have money to just be paying stuff for people, but that's how rare it is for me.